Hello and welcome. This is Caroline, and today I am filming an answer to Ethony's 15th prompt of the 31 Days of Tarot 2020. We are not on the 15th of January, we are actually now on the 1st of February, but this is I'm a total beginner with filming videos and having a YouTube channel, and filming one prompt a day during the course of January was just too much for me. So I am giving myself the challenge of trying to film at least 25 of Ethony's prompt during the course of the year. And also I'm planning to film other videos around tarot because I have a few ideas that I would like to see taking place in video format. Anyway, so the prompt today is prompt 15, and it is: what is your favorite pop culture tarot reader representation and why? And it's a good thing Ethony gave us a little bit of freedom with how to interpret these prompts, because today I have laid a few playing card decks for you here, just because I'm going to talk about my chosen representation, but I didn't want you to be staring at nothing. And the representation I am thinking of is not of tarot reading, it's card reading. And I am thinking of the scene in Carmen, the opera, where the three women, Carmen and her two friends, FRASQUITA and MERCÉDès, are reading their own fortune into a deck of playing cards. It's plain playing cards, it's not a tarot deck. But, well, I thought it would be a good answer to this prompt, especially because I love opera, and I love the Carmen opera in particular, and also I've seen this opera multiple times, including when I was when I was young and a child. And as a child, this scene of the card readings in the third act of Carmen has really struck me, and I've always remembered it. And I think it's one of the reasons I got so interested in cards reading. It's not the only reason, but it is probably one of the reasons. So, what happens is that in the third act of the opera Carmen, Carmen and her friends FRASQUITA and MERCÉDès are camping out in the mountain with the group of contrabandists. Their contrabandist friends are trying to smuggle stolen English merchandise into the city. And they are camping out in the mountain during the night. Next to the campfire, Carmen and Don José have one other of their fights and exchange harsh words. Carmen tells Don José that she will not be loving him anymore if he keeps annoying her with his jealousy. And she even tells him he should go back to his mother at that point. And Don José answers that Carmen is a devil. He goes on with telling her she's a devil all along the opera. But at that point, he answers that she's a devil, and he threatens to kill her if she leaves him. At what Carmen laughs and mocks him. Then they angrily part way, and Carmen joins her friends FRASQUITA and MERCÉDès, who are seated by the fire and who are occupied with reading their futures in the cards. FRASQUITA and MERCÉDès are using a common playing card deck, and depending on the representation of Carmen and what the scenic director decides, sometimes they are showing an ace, sometimes they are showing a jack of diamond or a jack of heart. It really depends. It's not always the same because it's up to the artistic director who sets up the opera. But they are always using a playing card deck. And they are singing aloud. They are singing what they see the future holds for them in the cards. And the music at the beginning of the scene is very joyous because Frasquita and Mercedes both see things in the cards that make them very happy. So at the start of the scene, the music is vivacious, and Frasquita sees that she soon will meet a young, handsome man who will love her with patience, and Mercedes sees that she will meet a very rich old man who will marry her, make her live like a queen, and will soon conveniently die and leave her rich and free. So both Frasquita and Mercedes are enchanted by what they read in the cards, and the music is very joyous at this time. I'm going to try and play you the start of the scene. So the music at this point is very joyful. Then Carmen pulls some cards for herself, and she sees death. Death for herself first, and then death for her lover Don José. And the music follows along. While it is vivacious when Frasquita and Mercedes are reading their own cards, then the music turns much more somber when Carmen turns the cards for herself and sees that it announces her death. So let's see if this will work, if I'm going to try and make you hear the change in the music. So the music turns somber, and Carmen sings that she turns first diamond and then a spade, and depending on on what scenic director decides of the settings. It's very often that she turns first. Where have I put it? The ace of spades, and then the ace of diamond, or sometimes in certain representation, she turns the queen of spades and then the king of diamond. It depends, but in any case, she makes it obvious that it means death, and she sings that she sees death for herself first, and then death for her lover Don José. Then there is a beautiful and famous aria where Carmen sings by herself for a moment. The two other singers are not singing anymore, and Carmen is the only one to sing for a moment, and it's a beautiful air where she sings that she knows it is no use to reshuffle and redraw because the cards don't lie, and even if she drew the cards 20 times the cards would predict her death. And it, of course, if you've seen the opera or you know the story, you know that it's coming to be. The prediction is turning true at the end, because in the last act of the opera, Frasquita and Mercedes arrive at the corrida and they worry about Carmen because they know that José is looking for her, and they remember what the cards had predicted. So Frasquita and Mercedes plead with Carmen and ask her to leave the place for fear of her life, because José is hiding in the crowd in the crowd and is looking for Carmen with murderous intent. But Carmen says that she knows what the future has in stock for her, and she knows that she cannot avoid it. That's her fate, and she says she's ready, she's not afraid, and she's ready to face her destiny. When the crowd leaves in order to attend the corrida, Carmen finds herself alone in the place, and José appears. He pleads with her to come back together, and she refuses, and when he insists, she defies him. José then stabs her to death, and he falls crying on her body until the guards come, upon which José immediately admits that he killed Carmen. He will be the opera ends there, but it's clear that José is going to be condemned to death and executed in disgrace. So Carmen is a very important opera for me in my life. First because it's stunningly beautiful, but also because I've always admired Carmen very, very much. When I was younger, she was like like sometimes you admire a star or a character in a movie. I admired the character of Carmen, and she was like a role model for me when I was younger, because she's beautiful, she's brave, she's loyal, and most of all, she doesn't need anybody, and she doesn't need a man in her life. She can stand for herself. She's brave, and she doesn't fear death, and also she's what I envisioned. At that point, what I envisioned a witch would be, because Carmen she's free, she's smart, she's brave, she can read the cards, and she bewitches Don José. She is irresistible. She's a very passionate and powerful character. So also I wanted to point out that in the opera and in the book also, Carmen, Frasquita and Mercedes are Bohemian, and it's interesting that those three Bohemian ladies are shown reading the playing cards, reading the cards, because I know that there is a belief, and I've no idea if it's a myth or if it holds some truth, but there is a belief that using the tarot not as a game, but as a mean of reading the future in an occult way, was first done by the gypsies. I have no idea if that's true or not. It might be, I don't know, but in any case, at the time the book was written and the opera was written, it was obviously believed that way, and it's interesting to see that those three women, the Bohemian in Carmen in the opera, represent freedom and a free a way of living where freedom and the power of freedom is very important. So those three women represent free women, and they also know how to read the cards. So that's why I was so in awe of this of Carmen and of this scene in particular when I was younger, and it has followed me all my life. So that was my choice for answering Ethony's 15th prompt. I am going to link in the description of the video, I'm going to link a YouTube video of this aria trio sung by the three women. I found one with English subtitles, so I'm going to link this one, and I'm also going to put a translation of the lyrics of what they sing, a translation in English, so you can. It's very short actually, because they keep actually repeating and repeating, singing several times the same lyrics. But when you read them, it's quite short. It's only a short paragraph, so I will put that in the description. Thank you very much, and have a good day, and I hope to see you later.